First Eps podcast is back. We're into the final week of our spooky season celebration here at First Eps. And we're talking about Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities, the new Netflix anthology series. My name is Eric.
And I'm Keith.
And this is First Eps. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First Eps. This is our final episode in our
our costumes
season.
on.
Oh,
Here,
our
cut it.
And we're back. Costumed up, baby.
That's right. It's the big day. It's almost Halloween.
It is almost Halloween. We're excited.
We wouldn't be wearing these outfits if we weren't excited.
No. And it's a little bittersweet. You know, we always look forward to being able to do these spooky episodes and stuff like that. And, it's the last one. Not to say we won't continue to do, like, anytime there's a new, scary show or whatever.
No, of course. And just think the holidays are around, so we've got about 8 months or 8 weeks left of Hallmark movies to watch. That's kind of scary, too.
That is coming up. Right? It is your other favorite time of year.
Right. So there's horrors to come.
Yeah, horrors in the way of Hallmark
horrors to come.
Movies. How come Hallmark doesn't make Halloween movies?
They do. There was some, where it's like fall festival and who makes the best apple pie, and then we gotta judge it, and so and so put a little bit something in the pie, but then they feel bad at the end and they confess that they put in the nutmeg and
So it's basically the same idea as the Christmas ones, just with Halloween.
100%.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Do they do that for all the seasons?
Pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Valentine's Day obviously is a big one.
Oh, that's
too.
a big one. Yeah.
And then 4th of July, my berry pie. Yeah.
Rosh Hashanah.
I don't know if they've broken into the Jewish holidays yet.
Okay.
That's a market they should probably try to attempt.
They really should.
Yeah.
They should get in there.
They do Hanukkah sometimes.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Interesting. We could do, this would be our next podcast where we just review Lifetime, Hallmark,
Marvista Productions. Yeah. Or a spin-off podcast.
Yeah. But it would be tough because, technically they're like the same movie over and over again.
Yeah. So in today's episode, But,
I like it. I like that idea. We're going to put it's on the list.
I'm going to pop it on there.
For when the Patreon does finally drop.
Yes. Well, now there's the paid on Instagram, whatever that is. There's some hoopla about that.
Yeah, no one knows.
Yeah. I've got some that I'm joining, and some people are upset about it because I feel like people are selling out now, and
really,
and they're like, "Would you?" And the people I'm following are like, "Well, would you rather I put it on Patreon, or I was just gonna make it here because it's easier?" But sure.
Listen, before we continue, you have to take. I can't concentrate with you with this French fries outfit.
All right. Everybody at home, I'm sure, would love to see me throughout the whole episode, but I am getting a little warm, so we're gonna take this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are here to talk about a brand new Netflix show.
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro's Curious Cabinet of Curious Cabinets.
Now, I wanted this to come out since October 1st. And
you did.
It was the next
Every
week.
single week. You're like, we're watching this week.
And it's out now.
Now it's finally out.
Yeah.
Cabinet of Curiosities is an anthology series. So every week, every episode, I think they're all out. Or no,
are they?
I think they came out. Yeah, I think they by the time you're listening to this, I believe they're all out. They came out in pairs of 2 for 4 days.
Okay.
Total 8 episodes. Each one is a separate story.
So they are getting them up before Halloween. I was trying to figure that out. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so you could binge them, right now.
Yeah, cool.
And it'll be fun. So we're not gonna give any major spoilers for the first episode because it's technically just a tiny movie.
It is a tiny movie.
And we don't want to ruin
the experience for people.
The whole experience. So it'll be a little different episode of First Eps here, but let's get into it real fast. Yeah. So it starts out with Guillermo del Toro just cranking an old cabinet.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I've always had a thing for these cool cabinets.
Yeah, Wunderkammers.
Ooh.
I think that's what it is in German.
Okay.
Yeah, Cabinet of Curiosities.
They I've seen them show up on like Antiques Roadshow and stuff like that, and the people are like, and there's a hidden cabinet here.
Oh, yeah.
And they're always really cool.
I want one.
This one I've never seen anything like it. It was very tall and had a lot going on.
Yeah, he kept cranking it, and there was put a layer upon layer came out of it, but there were still drawers. And then he opened one up for us.
And it kind of gave us the idea of what the episode was going to be. This one's entitled Lot 36. And he had a little key for this Lot 36. And then I couldn't no offense to Guillermo, I wasn't really paying attention well. Couldn't understand what he was saying. Like, he's got a little accent, and the volume was low, and we were talking, so I'm sure it was very important, but we didn't really get into it.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it's kind of like Vincent Price or whatever with like, we're walking into a nightmare, come with your jazz.
Exactly.
Something like that. Yeah,
exactly.
And that's what we did.
We did, and it led us into probably the best opening credits we've seen possibly ever.
Okay.
It was amazing.
Remember what they are again?
So it was like this whole like
like it's parts of what's happening that coming up, right?
Yeah. It's all like just like this cool
super
animated
stylized.
and very stylized.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yes, right. Dark, moody.
Yeah. And then we get into the show, and it sets the tone right away. It's George Bush on the TV, so we know it's in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And it's this guy like chopping up like, I don't know, some animal.
I have no idea what it was. A big animal.
Yeah, it was like some like rodents or cat or something. I don't know.
I think it was bigger than that.
Yeah, it was weird. And he just drops dead. And this sets up the premise for the entire show.
What was he doing? Who was this man?
What was he doing?
I think a key falls out of his hand.
Yes, exactly. And it says 36
minutes.
So we're like, okay, here we go. And then we go and we see that it is a key for a storage unit. And then we get into it, and it's like the storage unit like auctions. I don't know if you ever watched the auction hunters show.
Yes, this is like, those are usually pretty depressing for me, and this was that times 11.
Yeah,
like the depressing nature of this decrepit storage unit.
Yeah, the area that they were in, it was gross.
It was totally gross. And then we found out that it may or may not have been Buffalo where we live, because they definitely made a mention to Buffalo, and I was like, well,
a few times.
There definitely are some parts of Buffalo look like that, so it's possible.
I did see after that on the radio that was playing, or the television, they were talking about Williamsville.
Really? So it must have been in our area. Supposedly. Yep.
So, so they're at this storage unit, and I love this part because I used to love the auction hunters show, and like you find like the cool. I always wanted to find a storage unit that had like cool like.
I mean, this one had some cool stuff in it too.
This had amazing stuff in it, and I don't buy that for 1 second. They looked at it, and there's like all this like antique furniture and stuff, and it's sold for $400.
Yeah, this would have definitely sold. The minute you open this up, would have sold for more.
Oh, yeah, thousands. Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, there were chandeliers.
There were chandeliers hanging, which alone would have been worth $400.
Yeah, and all this antique woodwork and stuff.
In there, yeah.
So
it was huge too. The thing was bigger than like your living room and your dining room.
It was very big. It was a big building.
Yeah. Anyway,
it didn't make sense how big it was. It seemed weird.
Yeah.
So that might have led to like the creepiness of it.
We also I have to say I wasn't really rooting for the guy who did it because he was a real POS, real piece of shit.
Oh, he was the worst, and they leaned into it.
Yeah,
they made him kind of racist and super shitty, real mean, not friendly at all.
Although he wasn't into Nazis, because we saw pictures of it in the thing, and he was like, oh yeah, at least he didn't come out and say he was.
Yeah,
because there were in the storage unit he found some.
Yeah,
and then he was like, oh,
he wasn't outwardly but he
definitely hated. He was definitely a misanthropist and hated everybody.
Yeah, because there was I don't know, some Hispanic woman or Latin woman, and he was like, go back to your own country or whatever. And I'm like, really, dude? Right. We're one of those
really
people.
Diving into this. Yep.
So he ends up, he buys this storage unit and he's going through all this stuff, and he finds some cool shit.
Yes.
Right away, and he takes it to an appraiser.
Yep.
And they look at it and they're like, "Yo, what you got here?" He had some books. What were these books?
So I think they were spell books, summoning books. So we found occult objects. A couple of chairs and a table, a turning table, I think, for spiritual summoning.
Yes, the seance table.
Yes, exactly. And then inside they found the books, but they only found 3 of a 4-volume set.
Yes.
So the guy said, if you find the 4th volume, this is going to be worth $300,000. I will pay you instantly. So he's like, well, let's go back because you're going to help me look for it, and let's see if we find it. Yeah,
so they go digging around the storage unit, try to find the 4th volume, and they're just throwing shit everywhere, trying to find this.
It's like one of those mashups sound when they're going there, they're throwing shit. And then,
and the whole time, he's with the specialist guy, and the specialist is telling him, yo, this is sketchy. Yeah. Don't go in there. Don't do this. Yeah. And the guy's like,
I want my $400,000.
Exactly.
Doing this. Yeah.
So the whole time you're like, oh, I cannot wait for this guy to get what's coming to him.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't want to go into many more details because it was definitely worth checking out and getting the whole full experience.
We forgot to mention that.
Give me
that. There was in the beginning when he bought the unit, the attendant at the facility said, like, just so you know, the unit you bought had a really strange guy who used to be going back and forth. And they showed us a video and this closed circuit video of this guy kind of jumping 3 times with a bag of something, going in for like an hour or two, and then coming out and jumping backwards with the empty bag.
It was weird.
Yeah, and the guy, the piece of shit guy was like, well, he just dropped off something. He owns a storage unit. And he's like, he did that every day for 40 years. Like, there's something in there.
Yeah.
And then we kind of cut forward to what we saw here. Where we went in anyway just to see what it was. And then, some things happened.
And even then, when the guy, like, warned him, it's like, yo, this is weird. Yeah. And he was like, I don't care. He was just so, like, possibly, like, the biggest, like, piece of shit asshole guy in, like, recent TV history.
Yeah, he made me uncomfortable the entire time he was on.
Just awful, like really like a very, very unlikable person. And like he got beat up at one point because he owes people money.
Yeah.
So I think that, kind of encouraged him to like really lean into it. He really needed that money big time.
Yeah.
But he got he found a whole bunch of stuff in that storage unit.
Yeah, more than he bargained for.
So yeah, that was the first episode.
I love we're not going any further. That's amazing.
Yeah,
all right.
Go watch it. I mean, I'll recommend it right now.
How long was it?
It was only like 48 minutes or something like that. It was like
a pretty well fleshed out movie. It was good.
Yeah,
and then it had some real like scary, horror-ish parts at the end.
It absolutely did. Yeah. So each episode has a different writer and director for each one. This one was directed by Guillermo Navarro, and the story was by Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, right.
And then there's Panos Cosmatos. He's doing one. He directed Mandy, the popular Nicolas Cage horror movie.
Okay. No, I don't know that one.
Who else did one? I know Stephanie Myers. Or no, not Stephanie Myers. She wrote the book. Who did the Twilight
I don't
series?
know. Yeah.
Catherine Hardwicke.
Okay, all right.
And I'm interested to see how that one was.
Like
if it's as
one.
spooky as Twilight.
Yeah. Well, it's going to have like some twinkling vampires and shit.
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Jennifer Kent, she directed The Babadook. She's doing an episode.
Scary. Great, yeah.
Vincenzo Natali, he did Cube and In the Tall Grass.
Cube, right. We talked about this before because I thought Cube was one that Jennifer Lopez was in where she pulled out.
The Cell.
Yes. That was it. Yeah. No.
David Pryor, he did... not much that he was known for. The Empty Man. Keith Thomas.
Great name, though.
Firestarter, the recent Firestarter. That was not well received.
Okay.
And then Anna Lily Amirpour. She did A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night and The Bad Batch.
Is that Christina Amirpour's like daughter?
Sure. I don't know who that is.
She's like a famous reporter for like CNN or NBC or something.
Yeah, I bet they're related. I don't know. This woman is...
She looks kind of young.
She was born in 1976.
Yeah, it could be her.
Really? So great cast of directors coming up. So total 8 episodes, like I said, all out now. And what... Do you like the anthology kind of type of show? I'm always a huge fan of it. Yeah. Like, for example, like the Black Mirror shows. Love them. I always grew up... I loved the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And I like it because it's like, I mean, you don't have to like invest. You could watch one and bounce.
Yeah. I mean, so I think I prefer, if I'm going to think about that, the ones where they have the anthology casts over the anthology shows.
So like American Horror Story.
Things like that, because then I can like the people more, because that's what keeps you hooked in. Even if the story's different, I like connecting with them, where it's hard when they're just a totally different group every time, unless it's a really, really good story. Now, this was stand on its own. Like, I don't want to see that guy ever again. It was
simple.
Yeah.
There wasn't a large cast of characters. It was just this one guy, really.
And the scenery and the environment, think about the dark arts and... necromancy or whatever was going on.
Necrophilia, probably.
No, I don't think that was...
Probably.
Well, we don't know. I mean we didn't want to spoil it for anyone.
Yeah.
But so... I don't know. Yeah. I'm always intrigued by them, but sometimes they let me down because I love one, and the next one I don't.
And that's the problem with some of them. That there could be one that's amazing, and then the next one is just like a total stinker.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely a lot, and that's what's nice about going and being able to go on like IMDb and look at the ratings individually for each episode. Because I've definitely like skipped certain episodes of like Black Mirror that has like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
And like focused on the ones that have like 10 out of 10, you know?
Cool. Yeah.
But I did find a list of the top 15 anthology series ever made. I'm just going to run through them.
I'm probably not going to know many of them.
Yeah. Love, Death, and Robots. That's a Netflix series.
Heard of that one.
That one's great. It's about love. It's about death. It's about robots. Some quality stuff in there. But again, some stinkers.
Yeah.
Some of them, and the way those are, like some of them are like 4 minutes. Some of them are an hour.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Hammer, House of Horror. No clue what that is.
Army Hammer?
No, we don't talk about him. But that's his. Yeah, that's actually his house.
Yeah, exactly. A true story. And the anthology is each one of the poor people he tried to eat.
Oh. We won't talk about that. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's before our time.
Okay.
Creep Show.
Showtime or something? What is that?
Creep Show was based on 50s horror comics, and then they made a movie of them, and then they made like this show of them, and now there's like a game. They're actually making a Creep Show game, which I'm excited for.
Sounds good.
And then What If?
That was what came to mind when you mentioned anthology and being uneven, and when we talked about that, because I did find some of those episodes I didn't like. What If? But some of them I loved.
Some of them were amazing.
Yeah.
What If was that animated Marvel series, so that one was great. Masters of Horror, that's basically kind of like what this was. I don't know why horror seems to fit into this mold so well, but like Creep Show, Twilight Zone, Masters of Horror, this show, more of that. And that one was a lot of like, I think Clive Barker, and like they used like some big names in that one as well. They were the masters
of horror.
Yeah. The comic strip presents some British comedy. What else?
We're
moving right past it. Dr. Terrible's House of Horrible.
Okay.
Is
that like a comedy horror?
It was, yeah. This is with Steve Coogan. It was like a vehicle for him.
I don't know Steve Coogan.
To be kooky. You would if you saw him.
Okay.
Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Okay, classic. Sure.
Some great ones came out of that.
Oh, I like this. There's a little picture for those at home. The little guy with the little gun, which I love.
I don't know if he's a little guy or a little gun.
I think it's Alfred Hitchcock.
It is Alfred Hitchcock. Yeah, just always looking creepy.
Well, it's like one of those guns you always see the women pull out of their purse. Like, speaking of Guillermo del Toro, that Kate Blanchett pulled out in Nightmare Alley, and you're like, ooh, she's got a gun in her purse.
Yeah, it's always those little tiny guns.
Love those ones.
Night Gallery.
Ooh, this was classy.
Yeah, that was like a Rod Serling Twilight Zone-esque
a curator.
thing. It was a little bit darker.
Yeah, behind the scenes. Wow, I'm going to have to watch this one.
These are largely macabre and supernatural tales, not science fiction.
That's my jam, though.
It is your jam.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, it has the directorial debut of Spielberg, who helmed the Serling written story Eyes, and the final performance from actor John Crawford.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out too. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Tales of the Unexpected. Don't know it. Roald Dahl was in it though.
He was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You thought I was gonna say he like wrote it or whatever.
Yeah.
He did, but he was also like the host or something.
Okay. All right.
And then The Outer Limits. That was more of a sci-fi Twilight Zone.
Right.
Black Mirror. Classic. Everybody loves it.
Great.
This episode that I have pictured too, probably your favorite one. Did you ever see that one? It's like the Star Trek-esque one.
That looks amazing.
Oh my God,
I see
you would
right
love
there
that
on the
one.
side. Yeah.
That's a very good. I want to rewatch some of those. There's so many good episodes of Black Mirror that I could probably just talk about. You know, that could be the next Patreon.
Okay.
The Mirror Cast.
The Mirror Cast, nice.
Tales from the Crypt.
Oh yeah, I remember that
Obby.
one.
Inside Number 9, another British one.
Don't know about this, but if it's up, you said this is number 2 supposedly according
number
to this list.
2, yeah. British viewers
on film.com.
love their anthology.
Yeah.
It's a very dark nature. It was something of an acquired taste.
Oh.
Okay.
But once you acquired it, you couldn't let it go.
Every episode involves the number 9.
It's a hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Let's do it.
And number 1, the Twilight Zone, the classic Twilight Zone show. Everybody loves. Do you have a favorite episode of Twilight Zone? Do you ever watch any of those?
I've watched it, but no. But tell me. Well, there's the one with like the woman. you think that she's like real small or something, but it turns out she's like a giant. She like steps on a robot or a little.
I don't know that one.
There's some like man, and like you think he's like on a. Oh no, I think it's an alien in a little spacecraft flying around, and then you realize that he is a little spacecraft, but he's on a world with like a. And there's this old woman who like dusts with like a broom.
Really?
And you think he's gonna come and like take the woman who's dusting, like, but then it turns out that he's actually the little one, and that she's the one who's in power.
I love it.
And she like smushes him.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's Anyway.
I don't know if I have to like go back and look. I always think of one of my favorites, and it's not from one of the shows.
Yeah.
It might have been the show, but mostly I know it from the movie with that little kid where they like have to like keep doing whatever he says, or he turns him into like weird like.
Oh, I think that's a TV show.
Toys.
Yes.
Because it was also in the Twilight Zone movie. I think because they'd also had that one with there's something on the wing.
Is that? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, that one was like the show. I think it was Captain Kirk, and then the movie was that guy. Anyways,
Chris Pine.
Yeah. I can't think of his name. Anyways, classic stuff coming out of there. But yeah, that's it. That's anthology shows. It's hard to talk about because they are so independent from one another. Yeah. And some are great and some suck.
Yeah, I mean, so at least we could talk about like the mood, right, of this one. And I feel like just by that opening scene that Guillermo introduced us to, it seems like everyone does have that very almost that film noir quality to it.
Yes.
Like, danger, foreboding.
Yeah. Just looking at the trailer of like the next like episodes to come, like it looks awesome.
Yeah. Fear.
Yeah, I'm very much excited. So what do you give your review of? I mean, again, it's hard to give a review, but of this first one, I guess standalone.
I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. Is that the first time I've ever been higher than you?
That is the first time, yeah. But yeah, for me, the guy just being so unlikable, while I rooted for him to face some sort of issue, it really like, I don't know, it made me like lose a little bit of interest because, I just didn't like him. Didn't like the guy.
See, I like that fact because I totally felt no ill will when he got assaulted for the money.
Yeah.
And then when he got what was coming to him at the end. So, you know, this person did not have a good life, blah, 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 blah. We get it. But there's a lot of other people out there that don't either, and they have more empathy and sympathy for you, and you should give it back to them. That's how I see it. We all have hard lots in life. Just have a little empathy, people. Exactly. He had none, and he got what he had coming to him.
Hit the bricks.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that was Cabinet of Curiosities, the new Guillermo del Toro show on Netflix. Yeah. So it's Halloween time. Are you going to do anything fun for Halloween? You going out partying, going out trick-or-treating?
No, you are though, right?
We're going to go out trick-or-treating. Not myself.
With
I'm going to take my
one?
son out. Yes, he's Iron Man.
Yep. Not French fries like you may think from my costume.
I know. He was going to be French fries, but he didn't like the way it felt. His face in the hole.
Well, I understand that now after hearing that for 3 minutes.
So now he's Iron Man, and he could go around blasting things with his... Exactly. He does that to everything. It's great.
Yeah. Does he have Jarvis? Are you going to be Jarvis?
I could be... Yeah, I'll be Jarvis. I could be Pepper Potts because I have the red hair.
Oh, that's perfect. And then maybe your wife can be Jarvis.
She could be Jarvis, yeah. But yeah, it's we're gonna go. We're gonna get lots of candy. It's gonna be great.
That'd be fun. Nice.
So if you need any candy,
all right. Well, I know where to go for this.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, because we went like already. We went out in like the village to like the stores in this village.
Oh, nice.
And they were like, so he's got like a full bucket of candy already. So it's
Wait,
great.
when'd you go? Today?
Yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we do it. We do it right up in this bee. Yeah. So all right, that's it. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of First Eps. Go on to our socials. Check those out. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the best places.
Yeah.
You can watch this show on YouTube, Pop Culture Playground. That's where you'll find it. You can listen anywhere podcasts are found. And it's going to be, it's time to go celebrate All Hallows Eve.
That's right.
All right. So thanks so much. We will see you next week when we just start watching Christmas Hallmark movies. Maybe not yet.
Good night.
Good night.